So in the last video, I talked about how Disney influences Pickmes, and it is not something that is very painful. Sorry, it is very painful to watch for all of us, but the reality is Pickme people, Pickme girls, or Pickme boys just want to be chosen like everyone else. When you're a teenager, and when you grow up, you want to be chosen, you want to be included. And one way to be chosen, they see themselves as they need to be better than everyone else, they need to be different than everyone else, so they are chosen. So the one way they find is, to put other people down, so they are the chosen one instead of making themselves better. So I have few theories that I compiled, and I want to talk about them today and talk about how Disney, piece by piece, has created this genre of people who are considered pygmies. So my first theory is social learning theory and media script. So children don't just passively watch media. They extract the behavior script. Bandura's work showed the kids imitating model behavior, especially when model is rewarded. The classic Disney formula. Princess is kind, beautiful, and patient. And her reward is being chosen by the prince. Her story ends there. The implicit script. Your virtues prepare you to be selected. Selection is happy ending. Without it, the story isn't over. It just didn't happen. Young girls learn this existence with the male selection is a plot without resolution. Irrelevance is narrative depth. So, what I want to talk about is that Disney frames this idea every single movie you see. For example, you see Cinderella or you see Snow White. All these people matter because their life is revolved around a prince. A prince comes and saves them. That's why their lives matter. What happened to other girls who are not chosen? Example, Cinderella's sisters. They are not the chosen one. The chosen one is the one who has a happy ending with the prince. The prince is the center. Even all the media you consume, all day, every day, even the Disney princess, especially the Disney princess, you are the chosen one. You have to be chosen by the prince. You have to be chosen by the man to have a value. Once you're not chosen by the prince, you don't have a value. You don't exist. Everybody wants to exist. That is the whole point. Second is cultivation theory. Heavy media consumption doesn't implicit a single idea. It cultivates a worldview. Gerbner found people who watch a lot of TV began to see real world through the lens of TV's distorted reality. For a girl growing up in media ecosystem where women's stories orbit male centrality, she cultivates a baseline assumption. Men are the sun, I am the planet. My light is reflected. Even films where female leads often frame their arc in relation to a male counterpart, the bachelor test exists because it is so pervasive. The Wound isn't just one movie, it is consistent reinforcement of single cosmology. So, that what I was saying, men are the sun and my life revolves around it. Almost all media you consume, the hero is the main one and the women exist because why? For example, it exists because she gives a purpose to the man. But the story belongs to a man. It's a man's story. It is not a woman's story. Most media that all you consume is, you exist because you support the man. You are the mother who is supporting the main character. Or you are the woman who is dead. For example, the first dead wife. The hero's journey. The reason for hero's journey. See all our epics. Like the Helen of Troy. Or Draupadi, they all exist because they give purpose to these men. But the story is of a man. Women do not have their own history. This is like, you need to sit with it. You really do need to sit with the fact that as a woman, you don't have your own history. The history is written by men for men. The religion is written by men for men. Women are not considered people for the longest time in history. That's why the bachelor exists, to see, if two characters are talking to each other, will they bring a man into it? Is the conversation about a man? Even the whole idea that men oh, this decentering men, this thing I am seeing in the internet, I will talk about it later, but a lot of this content is still very much ingrained in centering the man. It is not centering the woman. This is really need to be considered, really need to be, not shredded, digged upon, should be digged upon. There's a third one. The male gaze as default camera. This is Mulvey, Laura Mulvey. She termed this thing called male gaze. It's a theory. Laura Mulvey's male gaze theory argues that film often positions the viewer as heterosexual male. The woman is a passive object to be looked at, not to be an active subject with her own vision. Over time, women watchers internalize this gaze. They learn to see themselves from outside. How do I appear to him? Because it becomes more automatic than what do I see. This is where the Pickme script becomes self-surveillance. The girl becomes her own casting director, constantly auditioning for the role of the chosen one. Like I said, everybody wants to be chosen. Nobody wants to be left out. Nobody wants to be invisible, and nobody wants to be thrown away. They want to be chosen. That is the wound. The Pickme comes from a wound. I think I have utmost empathy for people like this who always live for other people's validation rather than seeing things for what they are, who they are, because they're always in surveillance. They see how the world is seeing them. That's why they need to appear perfect at all times. They need to be, oh, I need to see myself. I need to sit like this. I need to say these things. So I appear more, what do I say? No, these people accept me. The whole idea is just acceptance. They really, really just want to be accepted, want to be the chosen one. Number 4 is narrative identity and the chosen trope. Psychologist Dan McAdams says we build an identity through story. We are the narrators of our own lives. If the only cultural available master narrative for female worth is she is chosen by someone who matters, a man, then a girl tries to shorten her life into the plot. This is why the invisible feeling you name so accurate. Not to be chosen isn't just loneliness. It's narrative failure. You're not just unloved. You are a story nobody's telling. This is so sad, honestly, The more I research about it, it gets so fucking sad. Like, if you are not digging deep, you'll hate this kind of people, but once you try to unpack it, just gets so sad, actually. Now that I'm talking about it, I'm feeling so sad about it. And number 5, conditional existence. This hits object relation territory. Psychologically, a child needs to feel she matters simply because she exists. What Winnicott named the experience of being rather than doing for. But a media diet that says you are a side character until selected teaches the opposite. You must perform for a male protagonist to earn a spot in frame. Love becomes proof of existence. As you are so beautifully put it, it's a fault in our stars. A singular, central star, male hero, around which all the women must orbit or drift into the dark. The repulsed phrase to show how stars isn't destiny is narrative flaw. This is powerful reframe, actually. Okay, now for the conclusion, I want to say that this is not Disney's fault. For centuries, it's just like a circle. Women I'm not going to blame Disney. Please, Disney, don't sue me. But it is something like, I genuinely do believe media sells what people want to buy. Look at the film like Animal in Bollywood or Arjun Reddy and all the other films where the male is so toxic that you can't even fathom, like, oh, people are watching it. These films are so fucking blockbusters. People are enjoying it. They're not watching it, they're enjoying it. They want to be like the hero. They see themselves in that hero. Somebody so violent. It's centuries of storytelling, but the mass media amplification makes the childhood infrastructure. So, over time, these stories were told over and over again that women are the second class citizen, men are the first class citizen. Women are the second class citizen, men are the first class. It is shown to you everywhere you go. If you read Second Sex, you can understand it very well by Beauvoir. And that's it. That is the reason. Like, you're always a second class citizen. To be the first class citizen, you need to have appeal to men, then only you matter. But I guess women generally forget that there is no VIP seat in patriarchy. There is no VIP seat in patriarchy. You just cannot appeal to men, whether through your beauty or whatever, and you cannot take male opinion as the fundamental truth and think you're special, you're different. You are not going to be criticized. It's not true. You will be criticized as long as you fit in that patriarchy, but you must realize, as long as you fit in patriarchy, or even if you slightly just go out of the box that patriarchy has created, Oh, you need to be this. Even this tortures for you. Now you step outside a little bit, you'll be criticized heavily. You'll be criticized heavily for that. Psychologically speaking, the wound heals when a woman learns to be a protagonist of her own case, not the object of someone else's. You must learn that. You cannot follow the script given by patriarchy, and if you do, you'll always be doomed. Thank you for this video. I think I'll see you in the next one. Bye bye.